Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm testing out the Tovala oven. It's a smart oven with a meal subscription service. Is it worth the hype and the price? That's what I'm gonna find out in today's video. What's weird to me is that I've seen ads for this online, I've seen videos for it, but their videos they put out there seem like they raise more questions than they answer. Like they show meals being scanned by a barcode. Now how does that work? Do hands come out there and cook it for you? How does that work? They don't really tell you. Why does the website talk more about a meal subscription service than an oven? I thought they're selling an oven. So I can see why so many people are confused about how this really works. So hopefully I can help answer some of those questions in today's video. Let's first go back to the unboxing and the overview and see how that went. Let's see what we got here. It looks big. It looks big. It looks big. Put it on the floor to get it out of there. There we go, there we go. And this was in the bottom of the box. There is a measuring cup inside there. It's, it's plastic. There's some more stuff in there, but I'm not sure what that is. I think I better look at the instructions before I start tearing things out of there. Looks like a grate of some sort. I'm not sure what that is. Quick start guide, instructions. And I have looks like a pot holder. Relatively small tray. It looks like an oven rack. I'll go through the setup process. If there's anything worth noting, I will let you know. Otherwise, I'll set it up and get started. So Tovala is an oven and a meal service, and the meals are optimized for use in the Tovala oven. All of their meals take under 20 minutes, and all of them are in between 400 and 800 calories. The oven has 5 modes: steam, bake, broil, toast, and reheat. There's also an interesting scan to cook feature where you can scan the barcodes of items from the grocery store, and it will automatically know how to cook those properly. Now they tied the price of the Tovala oven to their meal service. If you don't want a meal service at all, it's gonna be $299 as of this filming. If you commit to 6 weeks of their meal service, it's gonna be anywhere from $50 to $100, depending on the sale they're having at that time. Their meal subscription can be anywhere from 4 to 16 meals per week. Each meal is about 12 bucks. Some of them are extra and some of them are 2 servings. And each one of these meals only require a very minor amount of preparation, as you'll see coming up. All right, the meals came in. Let me show you how they look here. Now they have this like random tortilla on the top here, which is kind of interesting. They're nicely packaged. There is dry ice on the bottom there. I also noticed in a couple cases there was a couple pieces of chicken that had fallen out of the package because the package is kind of open on the bottom. Like the salmon, that fell out. It was just laying there. But it says to keep these refrigerated, and it looks like the best by date is 8 days from now. So I got to eat these 6 meals within 8 days. I've gone through the quick start guide as far as I can go to this point. Now here's what I've done so far. I had to put the crumb tray, I had to take the plastic off, put it back in there. Back here is a steamer cover I had to install. Wire rack I had to place in the lowest position. There's a drain tray that I had to stick in there. They said to plug it into a dedicated GFCI outlet. And the last thing I have to do is pour 8 ounces of water into the unit itself. I was supposed to install the app, so let me set up the oven now. It looks like it found my oven, that's good. All right, take a look at the front panel here. This is up here is where the water goes for the steaming. Top button here, this is the mode. You have bake, broil, reheat, steam, toast, and press this button if you want to scan something. All right, the next one down has 2 buttons, plus or minus. It can adjust the temperature. It can also adjust the doneness if you're doing toast. Down here is the time, 2 options as well, plus or minus. And there are displays inside here which show you what's going on as well. Start and cancel. The first thing I wanted to focus on were the meals that they sent, because they seem to be pushing that so much anyways. So coming up, I'll show you how the process went through 3 different meals, and then I'll move on to other features. All right, for the first meal, how about a cheesy bean and fajita veggie quesadilla? Looks like it's gonna take about 14.5 minutes. First up, line it with aluminum foil, then spray with cooking spray. Line with foil. Now this tortilla, I gotta be careful. It's folded in half on the way here, so it's kind of a big fold, and it looks like it's trying to tear. But it says, place the tortilla on the sheet tray. That's what they show. Pull my ingredients out of here. Spread the black beans, peppers, and onions on half the tortilla, leaving border free of filling. Sprinkle the cheddar over the filling. It says, fold the tortilla in half over the filling and press down. Something like that. All right, this is kind of what I got here. I got their filling and their cheddar folded over, not much to it. All right, so now it says, put this in the oven. There we go. Flip this over and scan the barcode. You do it like this, you do it like, I don't know. I don't know how to scan this barcode. I just scan, I don't even know how I scan it. I don't even know where I put it. I gotta look at how the scanning works. I guess I put it down here and press start. Here we go. All right, and we're off. Looks like it's showing the temperature is at 400 and the countdown is on. And there it is. Now they say let it sit for 3 minutes before you do anything. I'll put it on my total rack. Let this sit for a little bit, cut it up, and then give it a taste. It seems like it went pretty well, so we'll have to do the taste test and see how the first one actually went. Time for the taste test. I'm gonna see how well it's cooked and how well it tastes. Here we go. Try these different toppings here. Try a little guac in here. So far, I'm a bit impressed by this. Let me eat this entire meal and let you know how it goes. All right, I think my first meal was a success. I have mostly good news to report about it. It went pretty flawlessly. The only real problem I had, admittedly, was my fault. I read the instructions over, but I didn't really pay much attention to how to scan the barcode. That took me a second. That was the only real problem I had, and that was on me. The food was really well cooked. It tasted very well. And it's funny, it even had a lot of onions in there. I'm not a big onion fan. I still liked it, so I really give them credit for a well-done meal there. What I don't know is how much of that is the oven and how much of that actually is the food that they send over. I need to keep testing this before I come with a final conclusion, but my first test actually is pretty good. So that was my lunch. I'll be back later tonight to make my dinner and see how it goes. All right, it's time for dinner. Now we've got the chicken parmesan with herb roasted green beans. This is gonna take 20 minutes. All right, let me get the stuff out of here, see what we got. There's a couple of aluminum trays in here and the chicken just fell right out of the bottom. So here we go. Let's see how hard this is. Empty the green beans into tray. Grab the separate vacuum sealed marinated chicken breast. Open it and place it flat side down in the extra tray. Step 3, gently shake the marinara to recombine, then spread it on the chicken breast. Spreading the marinara. Sprinkle the Italian cheese blend on top. All right, next I'm supposed to put both trays in the oven. Flip this over and scan the barcode. Wow, that was pretty easy. All right, so now I've got 20 minutes to kill, so we'll see how it goes. The setup was very simple. It took me less than 5 minutes, so we'll see how the cooking goes. All right, we are done. Let's see what we got here. All right, now I'm supposed to add this to the green beans. Move the chicken over to a plate. Kind of mix up these green beans here. All right, let me cut into this chicken and see how it looks on the inside. Well, I mean, it looks pretty cooked to me. I guess it's time for the final test, which is the taste test. Now let's see what my dinner is going to taste like tonight. That's good. All right, the chicken turned out good. I'm glad because that's my dinner tonight. Let's try the green beans. I'm gonna stop the camera and continue eating this. I'm getting some pros and cons about this right now, but I got some more tests to do. I will say the fan on this runs for quite a while after it's done. That's not really a problem, it's just something to point out. I'm happy by the fact that the first 2 meals I made went flawlessly. They tasted good, there was no errors, so overall I'm pretty happy with it. But there's a couple things I'm concerned about, but I'll get to those a little later. All right, so I'm gonna finish my dinner and talk to you tomorrow with the next meal. A couple of quick notes about their meal service. You can go on the app and you can actually change the meals you want for the week. You can delay it or skip it by a week. But in my case, I have to log in by Wednesday to pick my meals or to skip a week, or they're just gonna send their chef's favorites if I don't pick anything. When I was presented my first set of meal choices, there was 21 options available. 11 of those are gluten-free and 4 of those are vegetarian. Some of the meals were 2 servings and some of them were an extra charge, but there really weren't a lot of options for vegetarians. Time for some Southwestern chicken stew with freshly baked biscuits. 19 minutes, 45 seconds. Okay, so we got some peppers. Sour cream. All right, remove the plastic film on both trays. Put both the trays in the oven. Scan it and press start. All right, we are done. Interesting, it stayed in steam mode the entire time. I wasn't sure if it was going to switch modes. It didn't, so that answers that question. And there we go. Now for the most important part of this, the taste test. Pretty good. Biscuits look nice and flaky. These are really good quality meals. 12 bucks might be a bit expensive, but so far I haven't had anything I didn't like. I give them a lot of credit for these meals. They're actually done quite well. So I'd say the Tovala works pretty well making its own meals, but what about other things? Let's see how the Tovala works as just a regular toaster oven. Easy test coming up. How about seeing how this actually toasts some bread? toast button. Over here, I'm gonna make it number 3 right in the center. And we'll hit start. They do show it steaming on the toast mode, which is not something you'd expect to see from a toaster oven. I wonder if that's gonna make the toast come out better. Now it's actually moved over to the bake mode, interesting. With only a minute left, it's not real dark, but I guess we'll see how it goes the rest of the time. Most of the browning occurred in the last 30 seconds. Very interesting. All right, here's what we got. That was facing up. This was facing down. Let me take a bite of this and see how it tastes. It looks nice. How's it taste? While I just can't say I'm an expert on toast, it seemed perfectly done. The outside was a little crispier, the inside was a little bit softer. It actually was very nice. So I wasn't sure how well it was gonna do. Did a great job. So besides the meals they offer, one of the big selling points is that you can scan packages and it automatically cooks the meals for you. It's not really explained very well anywhere how that works, so I wanted to see how that went. So I grabbed a few things out of the fridge, scanned them, and here's what happened. How about a couple of Eggos? And this time we're gonna scan the box. Scan. Aha. So after scanning it, it looks like bake mode, 450, and it was for 7 minutes total. Oh, I just noticed in the last 30 seconds, it actually switched over from bake to broil. So that should be interesting to see how it goes there. And, let's see what we got. And there we go. This was facing up, this was facing down. They feel nicely done. There's no cold spots, they feel good. I like how it switched to broil at the very end. It kind of toasts the outside a little bit more. I'm kind of impressed by it. I'm just curious if it'll scan some things. How about these? Will it scan them? Oh, it recognized it. Oh, it recognized them. We'll cancel that. How about something a little bit more obscure like this? Will it recognize that? Oh, it recognized that too. This Amy's burrito, the oven instructions say 50 to 55 minutes. I know that it's supposed to read Amy's. Let's try it out. See what it shows. It can do it in 40 minutes, so that's 10 to 15 minutes faster than the instructions call for. You know, I'm gonna cook this and see how it goes. All right, Amy's. We'll see you in 40 minutes. And as it begins, I should point out that it is starting on steam. I'll be curious if it goes through other modes as well. Let's see what we got. All right, looks pretty cooked. I will let this sit and cut it open in a minute, but I was gonna point out that during the cooking process, it said add water. I'm not sure how much of it tried steaming with no water in there. I didn't realize it could ask you to add water in the middle of the cooking, which it might be helpful if there was a water level on it or somewhere you can keep an eye on that. All right, it looks pretty well cooked. I just took a bite of it. It's crispy on the outside, well cooked on the inside. I think it did a good job. I should point out there is a Tovala app that you can use. You don't have to use it much, but you do need it, I think, to set it up in the first place. The app will show you what meals you have coming up. You can make adjustments to your meal subscription plan. You can also use it to scan items instead of using the scanner on the oven itself. There's recipes on there, and some of the recipes you can just hit the cook button and it automatically sends it to the oven, so that's kind of nice. I did try cooking some regular chicken breast using their recipe and the cook feature. What I did find it wasn't just a matter of setting the time or the temperature, it actually rotated through different cooking modes, and here's how that went. Now we're gonna go off this chicken breast recipe. It says to have 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, each to be between 6 and 7.5 ounces. I cut these down to exactly 7.5 ounces each, not more than 1 1/4 to 1.5 inches thick. I made sure they were that thickness as well. All right, so I added salt, pepper, and olive oil according to the instructions. And now it's time to put it in the oven. Now what we're supposed to be able to do is actually just hit the cook button on the app and it will automatically engage the oven. Let's see. Oh, it worked. And we're off. So it looks like about 20 minutes and then this should be done. We shall see. And we're about almost halfway through. It's been on steam mode almost the entire time. Here how it's looking. I'll be curious if that changes at all too. Oh, I have an update. It switched over to broil mode. And that now temperature is high, and that happened right about the 4-minute mark. So we definitely got to change there. It doesn't look like it's quite done yet, but maybe that'll make the difference. All right, it says it's done. Let's see what we got here. Whoa. Well, maybe it is done. Let me cut the thicker piece right down the center and take a look. I feel like it could go a little bit longer. I'm just gonna guess. I'm putting it bake 400 for 3 minutes. We'll see what happens. All right, perfect. It was slightly undercooked. I think the extra 3 minutes did the job, so, you know, pretty close. All right, I think I've got enough to wrap this thing up. Now let's take a look at some of the pros and cons of the Tovala oven. To me, one of the biggest pros is this can actually steam. I've found that with a lot of countertop convection ovens, sometimes it tends to dry things out. The steam actually keeps things moist, juicy. It also makes it cook evenly. I think the steam is a really nice feature. Another pro is the fact that it actually switches between different modes, not just with the meals they provide, but with anything out of your freezer that it recognizes. I don't think that's really a feature they stress enough because it's actually quite useful. When I first saw them scanning barcodes stuff in your freezer, I thought maybe it was just a gimmick where it's just transmitting the temperature and the time to the oven. It doesn't do that. When the oven knows what to cook, it'll actually switch back and forth between different modes to optimally cook what you have in there. I guess other pros would be the fact that it's easy to use. I had no problems right out of the box. There was no confusion. Everything was pretty clear. So I think the ease of use is really good, and everything was cooked perfectly. So I think that it cooks well, easy to use. The pros are looking pretty good at this point, but unfortunately we've got some cons to discuss. One minor con early on is the fact that their instructions do a pretty good job of telling you how to use the oven, but there's not much of a deep dive about the features. There's a QVC video from a while back, which I believe was with the inventor of the product. I found out more about the oven from that than I did from reading the instructions. Another con is that the meals kind of come with a lot of waste. They come in a big box, it has packing material, dry ice, then you take them out of there, there's cardboard around it. I don't know if there's really a solution for that, but there does seem like there's a lot of waste created by them. Another minor con be the fact that the add water feature seems like you should be notified when it's getting low. Right now you add water and then it'll just tell you when it needs more, but the problem is that can happen while it's cooking. You would think there'd be some sort of an indicator to tell you it's getting low. They don't do that. It seems like it'd be an easy fix with the app, maybe not, but it would be nice to know before you start cooking if you need to add water soon or not. An obvious con is the fact that it's without the meal plan, it's 300 bucks. That's around double the price of a lot of other standard countertop ovens. It does have a lot of features, but if you're not using those features, it certainly is not worth the extra cost. I would say my biggest con about the Tovala is not the oven itself. It's actually the fact that the merits of the oven, which there are quite a few of them, they seem to get lost in the agenda to sell you their meal subscription service. Now, as good as the meals are, and they were very good, $12 a piece is a lot of money. And I think that a lot of people will probably try it for a while and eventually want to stop paying that and start having to use it for home cooked meals or for things that they buy at the store. When you go to the Tovala website, it seems like most of it is about the meals. You get a graphic like this, which is all about the meal subscription plan, has nothing to do with the oven itself. This oven has a lot of good features. I just think that the Tovala website does not convey those at all. All right, so in conclusion, I would say the Tovala oven is good for 1 or 2 people. Like most countertop ovens, it's not going to feed an entire family, at least not very easily. How this is set apart from a regular countertop oven is the fact that it does have those smart features. It does have the steaming feature. If you're not using those extra features, it's not going to be worth the extra money to you. I'm going to be doing a couple other smart ovens in the coming months, so I'll be bringing this one back at the end to compare to them. So if I missed anything in this video, I'll be sure to cover it at that time. But if you've tried the Tovala, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.